Chapter 3, Balkanizing since 1965. All the leaves are brown, leaves are brown, and the sky is gray, sky is gray. That song kind of echoed throughout the battlefield of the based white people, Humbo and Gilbert in case you don't remember, and the bad evil brown people, the Arab terrorists. Surprisingly, the terrorists stood on the defense and refused to leave their position. The battle was a stalemate. Humbo and Gilbert whispered between each other, discussing how they would possibly lure the bastards from their pussy station. Humbo had the brilliant idea to yell, "What are your pronouns?" And one of the cocksuckers said eagerly, "She, her," when they were clearly a dude. So Gilbert giggled and said, "Well, I don't care. Kill yourself." The gas from the terrorist side could be heard from a mile away. All of a sudden, several terrorists started charging Humbo and Gilbert. In badass slow motion and like some metal song was playing, Humbo activated his powers. His eyes turned a blinding white and pierced the sight of those who looked into them. He roared and blasted the assholes with his fire abilities, and they knocked over like bowling pins. Holy fuck, I'm so hard. Anyway, the fight raged on for a handsome 7 minutes. It only took a brief pause when Gilbert suddenly developed the runs and had to run to the nearest restroom. I guess the Taco Bell he had on the trip finally caught up with him. Bahahaha, applause. Luckily, there was a Serbian Chili's nearby. It was called Kosovo ne Postoji. I really recommend the food. I loved their boneless cevapi 1010. So Gilbert ran to the restroom and strained and pushed as much as he possibly could. If you wrote a book about his current escapade, it would be called The Little Gilbert That Could Shit. His shit was so enormous that it actually was destroying the pipes of the poor construction work. He pushed and he pushed. He knew he had diarrhea, but for some reason the big chunk of shit holding it all in wasn't pushing out. He needed a strategy. What if he could push and pull, and just keep repeating the same thing until it all comes out? He tried and tried until finally it was coming, and just a piece broke off. Back to square one. Finally, Gilbert said aloud, "Fuck it." Then he pushed, strained, and agonizingly contracted his anal sphincter. A loud groan echoed through the restaurant as he ripped his rectum, pushing out the gigantic shit. Afterwards, everything else slid out of his loosened asshole. An audible, "Oh my God, thank you so much," made its way out of Gilbert's supple mouth. Flushing the toilet was another issue. The shit was so massive that it completely destroyed the plumbing work and flooded the eatery. He hastily swam through the sewage, looking upon the affected toilet. He used his new I-beam ability to weld the pipes shut and prevent any further catastrophe. The restaurant goers rejoiced, and some fucker came over with a huge check of like $1 billion or something, but Gilbert pulled out a sawed-off shotgun and blew that asshole's face off. What a fucking prick. Gilbert headed back to the fight and continued fighting. Humbo was welcoming him back and gave him a tactical hug. He revealed to Gilbert that he had been training while he was gone and developed a new Mumuki ability. It was called the Bomb of Spirit. He attempted to show Gilbert the new ability, but the black terrorist from last chapter showed up. He was wearing women's clothes. He was crying, shouting stuff like, "You straight white bigots. What you said earlier was uncalled for." But Humbo turned around and shot him in the dick. He said, "Heh, I guess now you can be considered a girl. Heh 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 heh." Anyway, Humbo taught him the ability, and they both did this badass team move like from Dragon Ball or something. I don't know, I don't watch pussy cartoons. So they worked together and shouted SPIRIT, that is what it means to me, and blasted those fucking terrorists to hell. I'm gonna come. Torn by war and valor, the heroes hop back in their Toyota Hilux truck and head forth to the next stop, Joland. It is said in the ancient scrolls that the Arab guys had that one day the pure evil John P. Satan Jr. will rise from his grave in the worst country known to man, the land of the Joes. Only horror and sin occurs in this land, and it's the duty of the only two men capable for this position to take care of this once and for all. This is aimed at you, people from Poland. Fuck you.